Well, hello and welcome back. I am in Summer Nights and I'm gonna work on this grasshopper. You know, I've never been one to really sit and do all the little bits. I usually like to do just like that whole thing at once. But I saw somebody in another group do a grasshopper and it inspired me to do mine. So I'm going to leave that just like that. I'm going to have a seat and we're going to get started. Now, as most of you know, I did mix my pencils together. Well, I mixed several brands. I didn't put my big expensive ones in. So for this part of the grasshopper, I used, this is how I label whenever the pencil starts getting short. It's number 112, and the name already rubbed off. It's cadmium green light. All right, and it is part of the Castle Arts pencils. Then my next shade is olive. This is actually Crayola. If you missed our Crayola review, that was the session before this. Just go back and catch it. And then Oxide of Chrome, number 63. And this is the Castle Arts. So those are the three pencils I used on these areas. So let's go ahead and come in and do some of that. So like the bottom of the loops here would be the lightest shade. We've been getting so much rain. We've lost electricity the last 2 nights during the night. My husband's sleep apnea machine just starts or just stops, and I'm like, wait a minute, something sounds different in the room. And then I go to my second shade and I just blend into my first shade. Now, because these areas are so little, there's not really room to use that third shade. But you can see here where I did get all 3 colors in there. So, but yeah, just the electricity has been going off, and then his sleep apnea machine just automatically kicks back on. So luckily it's been more like power surging than just losing power for hours and hours. So I'm thankful for that. Then I go back to my first shade and I blend. Now, do you remember when we did the pocket watch? Yeah, it was 2 sessions back. If I wanted this lighter, I could come in here with yellow and blend. Even though I didn't use yellow, I could do that. And that would just brighten that up. Okay? Now then, the other color through here that I used are these pencils. So my lightest shade is a green gold, number 76, and that's by Castle Arts. Then my next shade was number 111, Coyote by Arteza. And then my next shade is a Marco Renoir, and it's number 99. Now, do you see the barrel colors? Do you see how much lighter this one is than this? But yet this pencil, I know I got hold, I don't know. The sharpener, I don't know what happened, but it's working, so I'm not going to worry about that. This is why you don't just assume that the barrel colors are the same colors as the lead. That's not the way it works. You're only going to get that with like a really high-end pencil. And then I would still check them all. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and I'm going to take the lightest shade. See here I did the lightest and then I got darker, and I did darker just a little because of the shadow from his leg. and then lighter here, and then just a little darker there because the shadow of his leg, and then I went back to the darkers there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come right through this body, and I'm going to do this one a little bit different. Instead of doing each section, I'm going to do his whole body. And I'm going to do lighter in the center and then get darker as we go out. So I'm going to do heavy-handed here, which by now, if you've been with me for a while, you know I am heavy-handed. And then I'm going to get a lighter touch as I come out where we're going to overlap. Okay, so there's my lightest. Then I'm going to pick my next shade and come around here. And then where I overlap, doing a light touch. Now some people are like, well, how do you know where you're going to color what? Do you sit down and plan it all out? No. I really, no. There have been pages where I sit and plan out what I'm doing, but on something, and now I'm going to go right there because of the shadow of his leg. And then I'm going to blend it just barely. But no, on something like this, I have not planned out what's going to be where. I mean, I thought I was going to stripe that until I just sat down and looked at it, and I thought, no, I'm not. Not going to. I plan out sometimes the colors, but like looking at this page, I've not pulled any other colors for the rest of this page at all. Nothing. In my head, I kind of see those flowers as being like bluebells, which is a pretty soft blue color, but I'm not for sure, and I surely haven't pulled any. Okay, so now I'm going to go to my last color, which is the darkest, and I'm going to get right up in all these little areas, all these little V's, and that just punches that color back under there and makes it look a little bit more rounded. Okay, there's a V here. I want that to look like it's tucked up under there. Down these sides, a little lighter as I come out. Down these sides. And see, this color is darker than the other one, even though the other one's barrel was darker. So I encourage you to color swatch your pencils if you've not. Color swatching is just taking each pencil, writing down the number of it, and then making a sample of that. And I have, now I'm going to go to my lightest shade again. I have videos, if you search under my videos, that are actually called color swatching. And I show you how I swatch mine. There we go. See how that's blending? And that's just using the lightest color that was in those three colors that we just used. See, even that line that I put across there, blended in to where it looks more like a shadow now. So here we go, just blend away. I do like this brand of pencil, the Castle Arts. I did have problems with some of the names rubbing off and the pencils really sharpening down way too fast, like they had been dropped. So the company did send me a replacement set. for free, which was very kind of them. I paid for the first set during a big sale. It was a Cyber Monday, I think, when they were doing free shipping and 1% off, plus it was on sale. So I really did get them at a good deal. There we go. And see, I can come back in here and blend this some more too. I don't think I came back in and blended this yet, because I can see a lot of white showing through still in that paper. But just the same color. And then I'm going to come in with gel pen that's got glitter in it and do these little bits. Now I'm sitting here thinking, what am I going to do with this? I think I'm going to do these same pencils, the colors that I'm using right now, the golden colors. You know, these three colors, I just did that gold video. These three colors would make a really nice gold. Yeah, they would. I don't know why I didn't think of that then, but hey, that's all right. I think people need to know how to make gold with browns. So, all right, so let's keep going. Now, instead of doing each section, I think I want to do, instead of doing each one of these, I think I'm going to go across and do each section that way. Now, because this is turned up a little at the end, okay, see how it's turned just a bit? There would be more dark here and more light up here. So I'm leaving just a little bit more there than I am here. And that way it leaves me more tooth in the paper to make that darker. And then actually over here, I don't think I'm going to use this color at all, because there's going to be shadows in here and shadows under here. So let's just see how that's going to look. So I'm using, this is the medium shade. And I'm not going to use the dark up here on this part, but I am overlapping that some. And then here, and I will use the lightest shade, even though I didn't use it in here. I will use that lightest shade to blend all this, and that'll help lighten it up some for me. Okay, and now my darkest. Did I do that? I didn't do the bottoms yet. Hang on. How are we time-wise? I don't even want to get up and look yet. I want to keep coloring. All right, let me do this. So then the darkest shade is going to be here across the bottom, because it's just not getting as much light as everything across the top was. I think that's something we're going to start touching on more, is light sources. Where's our light coming from? I don't think that's something I've hit on enough. Okay, and then I'm going to come back in after I look at the time. Oh, we're doing awesome, yeah. Then I'm going to come back in with this and use the lightest shade. See how it's perking that color up? See how it just brightened that up? There we go. And again, I'm going to be using a lot of glitter gel pen and all the little extra bits. Have not decided on a background. I think I'm going to do one though. I've really, in these Hanna Karlzon books, I have started doing more backgrounds just because her pages kind of warrant them. It's like she made them to need backgrounds with all the little dots and all the little bits of stuff that's going on in the background. They just really look more finished if the whole page is covered with color. Now, it takes a lot longer too. It really does. That's something that we don't talk about much either. When you're doing a background, if you're using pencils and not pastels or paint or ink pads or whatever, look at your pencil and make sure that it's long enough to do what you're looking at doing. So I have some pencils that are only this long. They only have like that much left. And if I've got a whole page spread to do, I have to stop and think, is that enough lead to actually cover that page? And if that page is actually a 2-page spread, I won't even try it. Nope. So anyway, all right, so there's that. I do like that. I'm liking that. Okay, now I think I need some of the other green brought in. So I think what I'm going to do is go back to these first greens that I labeled, that I told you about. I'm going to use the lightest one and come right through here. And see, this is not pre-planned. I just picked up the pencils and said, you know what? I feel like I need more of this color in there. Now I'm not going to go any further over. I want to make that a little darker. So I'm going to start here. This is the second shade. I told you these shades earlier. You can go back in the video and look real quick. I'm also going up in this V. Lighter where you're overlapping the colors so that they blend. And see, this is just a Crayola pencil. You saw how well that went. And then my darkest shade, I'm coming right over in here. Lighter where I'm overlapping. And it just makes it look like it's wrapped around there more. I think I'm also going to do these greens, I think on his face, and I'm wondering about doing them down through here. Let's do his face first. Let's do what's up here on top. The sun's hitting. Get all that done. And yes, we've still been getting some rain. By the time this airs for y'all, our rain may be almost done. Okay, and then I'm going to go to the second shade. Come up in these V's. Just gives a little bit more depth to the picture by going up in those V's. Then blending as I come out. I leave the very tip of that so I can come in with that third shade, because that tip is down at the bottom. So it very well could be just a little bit darker, and then just blend as I come up. All right. Let's see what else. I'll go ahead and do light in here. I'm using my darkest shade here. Don't know why, just decided to. And I'm going to assume that this is the white of his eye. And I'm going to go around here with the darkest green. And then I'll probably come in with a black and do that. Let's see those. Got a few minutes left, so let's go ahead. The lightest shade. I almost messed up. The lightest shade for the tips. And I'm going all the way, almost all the way up, because I have a plan now that I've started that. And then I'm going to take the second shade and pull down into that. Okay, I'm not using the third shade here because I'm going to use it on that next set that's down there. I used 2 pencils here, and then I'm going to use 2 here. And by using the second 2 down here, it's going to make it look like it's set back in there just a little bit further, because I'm going to use that darker shade. So pulling the darkest, and see how it looks like it's set back under there, because it's so dark. And you can do this. If you need to practice, just draw some diamonds and start at one end and shade all the way to the other. Okay? Do that dark? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, so I'm going to wait. So I think that's good, though, for this time. So next time, I'm not sure. I think we may do these little flowers. I love those flowers. So anyway, again, if you're looking for a book with some wonderful, wonderful paper and nice drawings, it is currently on Amazon. All right? Okay, well, thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you in a few days. Bye.